Hello, folks. This is me, the Trash Man here. Today, is marks a day after I have just beaten uh Doom: The Dark Ages on Nightmare, the Nightmare difficulty I was playing on. Um, and I have to say, my final thoughts on the game were that I absolutely loved it. I genuinely absolutely adore the game. Now I will state some things that really did bug me, and it was never really a thing with honestly the game. It was more of greedy practices. Specifically, I have to talk about that pre-order situation where for the first 2 fucking hours they forgot like a simple thing so that people that bought the collector's edition couldn't play it for like the early access for like 2 hours, which I hated. But and then also the fact that you don't own it physically if you buy the physical copy, I think that's really stupid. And I hate that Nintendo was starting to push that practice and now it's going out because of Xbox. I think that's really bullshit. But other than that, I don't buy physical copies, so it doesn't matter. I just use Steam. But I do think that is a very greedy practice that I hate. But otherwise, like I genuinely love basically everything about this game. Um, Really, like, playing on Nightmare, I do wish that the base Nightmare difficulty was harder. I actually had to purposely change it so that it was harder on myself, which you could see on the streams. I purposely changed it to where it was like the lowest parry timing window, which what from what I've heard, some updates are coming out that are going to be making you able to push that even lower for the parry timing, which I'm excited about. I'm going to do a full playthrough of that someday on my own. I absolutely love the game, like the weapon variety, like there's so many weapons in that game. So I think one thing I will say is that sometimes it gets very overwhelming. Because like whenever stuff like the accelerator versus um the charger and the ravager versus the bone shredder, I forget the name. Um, but like those two weapons, like those four weapons, like I always feel like at some point I always like, granted with the bone weapons, like I do think I do find some good use from the both of them. But I never use the accelerator really. That's like the only weapon I never really used. I would always, I especially during the last levels I started getting some real use out of the second weapon you get, like that machine gun thing that has like the pin cushion thing. That thing actually, like when it's max upgrade, is kind of broken low key against cyber demons and those big fucking the 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 attacky dudes in the cosmic realm. Um no, I genuinely liked a lot of the weapon variety. I don't know. The game is definitely the hardest Doom experience I've had. Like I played through, Doom Eternal Nightmare. I played through Doom 2016 Nightmare. This Nightmare, the specific mode I played on, the thing that the slider changes I did, the game was I would get stuck for like 30-40 minutes on one like enemy encounter sometimes, and it was insane. It's probably the hardest Doom experience I've ever had, other than playing Platonia, of course. Or Nightmare on the originals. But no, they granted the slider stuff. I do wish the mode I was playing on was the default Nightmare, because that's what the default Nightmare experience should be, in my opinion. Because I played a bit of the base Nightmare. It's like it's night and day, dude. Like they don't put enough on that. I'm really hoping that they do change that. But I'm getting sidetracked. I think the game's incredible. Now, if you're wondering where I place it along the Doom games, I have it in. I did this last stream on my Quake stream at the beginning. So I said that honestly, I can't I can't put one over the other between Eternal and Dark Ages for second place. So I've put them. I've done the castaway option of just putting them in a fucking in a tied spot. Mainly because I actually really like the exploration. I really like the exploration of Dark Ages. I like the combat. I actually think the combat's pretty strategic on the higher settings, like higher game speeds and lower parry timings and lower resource gatherings. I think it's actually quite a strategic game. Like I had to actually like go in and think about which actual weapons would be the best for the occasion, which enemies to take out first, because the Mancubuses would fuck you up if you let them live for anything, because their fucking poison spews and shit that they do is fucked up. Um, no, I think really, despite people saying it's not, being disappointed is not just fucking Eternal 2, which I think is kind of dumb. I think genuinely like I had to put a lot more thought into it than Eternal, which I'm just gonna say this Eternal's an easy ass game. Am I the only one who thinks this shit? Because like I like a year or two ago I did was it a year or two ago like granted I've been playing the game for 5 years, so maybe I'm just too good at the game, but like I did Nightmare. Like just Nightmare is so like 2016's Nightmare is actually really well done as well, along with I don't think well granted I won't say that I don't think Dark Ages Nightmare is done well because the base Nightmare is easy, but the thing I did was fucking well done. The thing I did. So actually I'm the best maker of Nightmare. But before I make this too long, I'm just gonna say, yeah, I feel like Doom Eternal's Nightmare was too easy. Dark Ages Nightmare without setting things to be harder for yourself is also too easy. I really think this is a dumb trend, and we should just make Nightmare hard again. I'm just saying. But I think they're about tied in second place for me. I've actually promoted three up to bottom S tier. So that game's in my third. That game was already in my third spot, but I genuinely just think that game's either an S or low S or high A tier game for the Doom series. And I might be replaying 64 sometime to see if I can improve my thoughts on that, but I don't know if that will because I feel like 2016's. I mean, not 2016. 64 is. It's rough sometimes, but I love the game though. But anyway, before I get just TLDR, the game is incredibly fun. The weapons feel great. The exploration feels so much better than Eternals because Eternals is very lackluster. I loved exploring the maps. I know some people didn't, but that doesn't really matter. It's my opinion. You can have your opinion. I don't really care. If and I'm just gonna put the disclaimer out there that really, the game, it's your opinion. I respect it, but just don't go like I've already seen enough people getting on me for liking the Dark Ages. So or like people just being negative Nancy's. I don't want any of that, please. It's okay to be disappointed with the game. It's okay to think that there should have been more. I entirely understand that, so I respect that a lot. But I'm just saying, from my experience, I love the game. It is one of my favorites in the Doom franchise, either second or third place. The classics are still reign supreme for me for the best Doom games. But yeah, I liked it a lot. Feels great. I will say, you should probably wait for it to go on sale just because 70 bucks is a lot of clams. So don't go automatically just throwing around your money. Please wait for a sale. I don't recommend that anyone purchases a game that's 70 bucks or not on sale. I recommend everyone, unless it's a cheap ass game, wait for a sale for a video game because sales are absolutely the most incredible thing ever. And you need, even if you want to support your favorite conglomerate or your favorite company, you should always respect your money and be smart with your money and wait for a sale. So that's my opinion. See you later. Bye. Even for the best games.